Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 22 of the Own the Moment podcast. My name is TJ Lasig. I'm your host here at OTM. And as always, I am joined by my co-host. And man, we had a little bit of a Herzigbot malfunction for the first time ever. Mr. Justin Herzig, how are we doing tonight, my friend? You got the Coinbase shirt on, repping the IPO.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Today has been, to be honest, a huge day in the crypto space and the kind of blockchain technology. I've got my coin token right here as well for the IPO. We are a Coinbase family with my wife actually working there. So it has been a big day in the Herzig household. But I think even beyond, like we had CNBC on for most of the day. And when they're not talking about kind of Coinbase and stuff, like NFTs is the next topic, like everything that we're focusing on right now as such a hot space. And so it's kind of gave a little excitement, a little validation for all the focus that we, all three of us here on the show tonight have been spending the past 2-3 months really diving into this space and building, what we see as a really prosperous long time, future. And so it's just, in general, just having a public company built around crypto, built around blockchain, go public, be worth more than Goldman Sachs. It is just green pastures ahead for the larger community in that whole ecosystem.
Yeah, definitely a big day in the crypto space across the board. And joining us tonight, we've got a special guest, man that's been putting out a ton of awesome content, awesome analysis on Twitter, including some projections of his own, Mr. Taylor Stein. Taylor, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Super fun. Happy to have you aboard.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is pretty great. It's funny that you reached out because I threw the projections out there and then I read yours and immediately everyone started like comparing the two and DMing me and they're like, "Oh my God, yours are so wrong, yours are right." And I'm like, I'm just over here trying to have some fun with it, make some projections, and we'll see what happens. But I'm not trying to predict the future here. I'm just trying to take my best stab at it.
Right. No, and you did a fantastic job, but it's so true because no matter what you put out there, I got these are too high, these are too low. You get a little of both. It's just like, we come from the fantasy sports side. No matter what you put out for what a player is going to do, a projection, it's either too high or it's too low. Or, why are you hating my player? Why are you hating my team? But I think just as an exercise wise to kind of help people get a better understanding of, what to maybe forecast for those small people, that amount of people that actually get the moments or the people who are interested in the market. It's an interesting exercise. And without a doubt, at least for me personally, it did not go that well. And we'll dive into it. But I think most importantly than anything else, and obviously I think this because I got it wrong, is what we can learn from it and, where we can kind of improve that process going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's why we wanted to have you on tonight. Thought that it would generate a lot of discussion. Like Justin said, people are all over it on Twitter. Literally, people that are like, "You're way off. These are so low," or other people are like, "These are not high enough." I'm like, you can't please everyone, but right. you can definitely talk about it. And I think it creates a lot of great discussion points. So I'll set the stage here a little bit. First off, gotta give some plugs here. So. We've got Taylor on, so I can guarantee you guys it's going to be a good show. You're going to want to hit the like button, so go ahead, hammer that like button right now. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, subscribing to us on YouTube, checking out our website, otmnft.com. Got a lot of awesome content, awesome tools on there. We're continuing to work on new features each and every day. We've got a lot of cool design upgrades that are coming in the background to make things a little bit friendlier from a visual standpoint. So stay tuned to that. And let's dive into the show tonight. So we're going to start by talking about the Holo Icon 2.
I might have zoned out, but did you tease what we're ending the show with? The most exciting part about the show?
You're right. Wow. That. Yes.
Bury the lead. Right. Come on.
I have it literally on my list here. But yes, we are going to be finishing the show with a legendary pack opening from producer Cupe himself. He's been holding on to this thing for 2 days, doing a ton of looking into what's still out there. What could he possibly be getting? So we're going to have some fun with that at the end. If you guys are lucky, and if producer Cupe is feeling generous, I believe he may even give away one or two of the common moments that come in his pack in the form of the $1 listing like we did previously, which was a lot of fun. And just, there's nothing better than just tilting 200 people in the chat that think that they deserve the $1 moment and don't get to. That was a blast last time, so we got to do it again to them, Justin.
Yeah, Taylor, you might have missed this on if you were paying attention to the show, but we do this thing where we throw out a moment for $1 in the marketplace, and we tell our people watching where it is. So it is currently it's OTM 3 and it's bots 0. So we are hoping to keep that trend alive. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's a chance we may be giving away an MGLE as well. So Cupe will give out the details of that later, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
And no bots scoop it up? Like someone in the chat, I was able to get it? That's
one
wild.
of them was a Siakam, which was going for like 60, 70 during the challenge. And every single time the humans, our chat got it, because we got, like someone said, either they DM'd us to tell us that they got it, or someone in chat, we saw the name. And I guess it shows that, like, if you were really F5, you know exactly what you're doing.
Great.
Like, you got a legit chance. So we're
everyone in the chat instantly, when they didn't get it, assumed that a bot got it. Like, even though they didn't give any, we're like, well, there's a bunch of you F5ing right now. Like, just because you didn't get it doesn't mean a bot got it. Oh,
right. Someone's wife works for one. Someone's wife got it. Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. All righty. So, anyways, back on track here. Going to go over the Holo Icon 2 drop. Going to talk about the Cool Cats 4, that there's been a lot of discussion there. Talk about some of the rumors that are floating around, some of the speculation, and that'll be the show tonight. So I'll just kind of kick things off here. So on Monday, we had the Holo Icon 2 pack drop. There were just over 2,400 packs that were up for grabs. There were new requirements in order to be eligible for this legendary drop. So people are probably familiar with that, but just to recap, so you need to meet one of the following requirements in order to be eligible: either owning 15 plus moments, 2 plus rare moments, 1 plus legendary moments, or you need to have spent over $999 in the marketplace at some point and still hold a moment in your account. We heard from Jacob over at Dapper Labs that there were a little bit over 80K collectors that were eligible, and I believe we saw somewhere between 50 and 60K in line. I don't know if we saw an official number, but it was somewhere in that range. And as we talked about, producer Cupe did indeed get a pack. So this kind of summarizes the drop. And yeah, I guess Justin, I'll kick it to you first. You know, what are your thoughts on what we've seen since those packs dropped? I know that you wrote out, I thought, a really well-written article around your price projections and why, you know, things turned out to be a little bit lower than what we were projecting. We'll also then kick it to Taylor because he was a little closer, and so we'd love to understand some of his assumptions. But yeah, you want to talk to people for maybe that did not read the post on Twitter, some of the things that you've learned over the past couple of days with regards to the Holo Icon drop?
Yeah, and so first off, the way that we kind of build out these projections, the price it's fully data backed. So there was very little, if any, subjectivity by me when I was building it. It's almost all using comparative moments in the marketplace. And so to do that, what we were seeing is, hey, taking a look, if you want to actually double click it, you can see how high these are compared to where they actually landed. And it's actually remarkably close. Almost all of them ended up being around 75 to 100% more than what they ended up going at. And that is based off where we saw similar like moments. What I think was interesting and where these probably went wrong. One is, I don't think it accounted for the bear market and the current state of the market. When you look at the prices and we're trying to compare to others, so if we say the legendary /85 that was released on, I think, January 5th, January 7th or so, those prices don't align anywhere near this, even though it's a similar size and circulation. But just the holders of those moments are very different than the holders who received the moments today. The ones who were involved in early January before the major boom are more long-term bullish on the marketplace and aren't trying to get that quick flip. While the majority of people who received the moments, the Holo ones here, I don't want to say they're not bullish or anything, but what we know for sure is that what they've experienced the past 2 months is only a bear market. And so by all intents and purposes, they had fair reason to believe that if I don't sell it today, it's only going to drop in price tomorrow. And so it led to just complete undercutting of people just trying to continue to sell, because I get it. If you pull almost any of these, for the majority of people, that means that probably makes up 50, 70, 80, 90% of what your total account valuation is for most people. So like it makes sense that you want to sell, diversify, and kind of put your assets somewhere else. The second thing here is when we take a look at so they removed those marketplace transactions. Thankfully, they brought them back up. They made them so you actually have to click on it now and go to the other link. So it's not as easy. But at the time that this went out, those were gone. And I think LeBron is the greatest example of that. Is we were just seeing, we can use any example, but our only data point was the lowest ask. So when these were being sold, the only thing that people could base off is what is the current lowest ask? Because you couldn't see, so let's say something was for sale for $5,000. You couldn't see that somebody already bought that for $5,500 or $6,000. Instead, if you're going to list, your only data point is what other people are selling it for. And as we said, when you combine the bear market, when you combine that, okay, we don't know that other people are willing to pay more, all I'm going to do is undercut. And then you just get that cycle and it just keeps dropping and dropping. And I think the third one is, which I think is a bit of a minor one, but we are seeing it, is that there's virtually no utility value for these moments and the challenges. For whatever reason, and it's probably a combination of it's just too costly. People don't want to put money, $25,000, $30,000 onto the site right now to accomplish these challenges. But there's virtually no utility value. So when I created these floors of 2,000, that was actually about the same, if not even a little lower, but about the same as the other Holo moments that had already completed their challenges. And so now, since this drop, I think we're seeing the cheapest ones. Basley's around like $1,250. We're seeing some of these even, I don't know what the Josh Jackson is, because I know that's always been the joking one, but like these are $1,100, $1,200 and have virtually no utility value. And that's $800 less than what we were seeing for the other Holos that already had their utility value and also were like similar players. So I think overall, when I just made these, the assumptions that I built in, used a current state of the market subjectivity and didn't bake in enough of what are the human reaction, what is the human element of when I'm going to be buying these Holos, releasing them in the marketplace. It's such a large amount of money, people just want to sell. And I think that's been far more of a factor than anything else that has drove down these prices. And I am extremely interested to hear from Taylor, Taylor was still high, not nearly as high as I was, but like, what were your baselines and kind of what did you take into account to kind of at least get a lot closer than I was?
Yeah. So I think I went about it a similar way, right? Like I wrote out in the article how I really just wanted to start by finding comps, essentially, like what are comparable moments for each of these players. And I wanted to keep them as comparable as possible. It's kind of like, right, when you're looking at the value of a house, you're doing the same thing. You're trying to find like, what are the homes, similar neighborhoods, similar bedrooms. You're trying to do the same thing here. So I looked at, for all these players, I tried to find series 2. I didn't want to stay in the same series. I didn't want to pick up any like additional value on series 1 sort of premiums. So I looked for series 2 base moments. And I also wanted to take out ones where that base moment was something like a Top Shot debut. So there were a few that I omitted from here. And Johnson, there's some value assigned to his Top Shot debut, right? His moment's about $30. And if that moment wasn't his debut, maybe he had something in series 1, you'd expect that to be a little bit lower than $30. So I sort of put those to the side and tried to just find the relationship between market cap of series 2 base to Holos. And I started with doing it for the existing Holo Icon moments. And I just put them out on a plot and did a linear regression, and it was 11 at night and I didn't feel like doing anything else. So that's pretty much where I stopped. So once I had the fit, it was like decently close. This whole log plot makes it seem a little bit closer than if it was a pure scatter plot. It's also easier to see. But you could see there was like that regression captured just about all of it, plus or minus 20%, which is still pretty considerable, right? That's still like $400 above or below a $2,000 listing. So it wasn't super tight. And then I started with that and then essentially just ran all the new base moments for the new players through that same model and just looked at what it spit out. And it came out to the floor about the same at around 2,000. And that was pretty much it. I didn't put any like qualitative assumptions in there around like the market or around, I also expected the latest transactions to be back. I thought that was like, I saw it, I think it was a day or two earlier where it first was missing.
Crazy.
And I thought like, okay, well, it has to be back. Like when they open the marketplace back up after this drop, it's going to be there. Like they said it's going to be back shortly. Like, of course it's going to be back. And it wasn't, which I totally agree. I think that really hurt buyers, right? It gives you have no confidence that you're not making a terrible decision. But I didn't think about the seller side. And I think you're right. I think it affects the seller side too, where if you have no reference point, if you haven't seen that someone got paid $5,000 for selling a moment, you don't really have much reason to do anything other than list it at the bottom, right? It's hard to come up with a reason why you shouldn't do that. So that's pretty much where I started and came up with these projections. And I think the other part that I hadn't really thought through is with this new release, we pretty much doubled the supply of Series 2 legendary moments, right? Like we had previously 30 Holo Icon moments. We doubled the supply. There's now 3 shy after the challenges, so about 60 of them out there. But you have to think, like, did we double the demand and like double the number of potentially buying customers that are willing to invest 2,000 into these moments if you assume that that's the floor? And I don't think we have, right? Like I think we doubled the supply and I don't think we doubled the demand. So I think we shouldn't be surprised that we sort of diluted this Series 2 legendary market, and with not like a doubling of the buyers or people that are at least equipped and ready to do it, that the whole thing took a shift down, however many percentage points it did. So I think we can't be too surprised by that either.
I think that's a really good point. And when I considered the floor, I did not consider that the floor of the other holos would take a significant drop. It just didn't make sense that, okay, the challenges are over. The people who hold them. It didn't make sense that those would drop the 30-40% that we saw. But I think what you're saying makes sense. And maybe there were people who were in those previous challenges, wanted to get their Trey, Harden, Joker, and now they said, okay, I'm just going to get rid of my bottom of the barrel ones. I'll go from 2,000 down to 1,200, 1,400, whatever it is, to be able to buy into the next one, or just they wanted to take down. So I think that's a really good point that I hadn't accounted for.
And there's a couple sorry. There's a couple little things that in retrospect I noticed where there were most of them, like I think probably similar to yours, I was probably just a pretty constant percentage point off, right? If you just like divide all my projections by whatever is little, you not cut them in half all the way, but they were like a pretty constant level over percentage wise. And a couple of them are very off. Like I think it was the, what was it? Laurie Markkinen and a couple others where I was like $1,000 off. I projected like 2,400 and it's now at 14 or 1,500. And one of the downsides of this model, which I thought about at the time and I kind of brushed it off, is that what this is all built on is the market cap of the Series 2 moment. And when possible, I tried to grab the 15K versus the 35K. The reason being the 35K double the amount, so you can expect for a similar player the price may be about half. And it almost starts to get interesting because Top Shot you can only list at a full dollar increment, right? Like there's no listing at 550. So you have a lot of these moments.
7 of your 35K is very similar.
You're right. 6 and 7 to your buyer are really similar, but when you multiply it out for the market cap, it starts to swing things drastically. And then when you plug that in as your variable that you're using to predict these prices, that could almost have like a $500-$600 swing on the projection. So that's why I ran a couple of these through the model again, and afterwards it was like, I think it was Terrence Ross was a $8 moment that then went down to a $6 moment, and that $2 change is essentially $1,000 in the projection at the end of the day. So there's some interesting dynamics there, and probably also learnings about building a model off of something that's like so sensitive to even the smallest change.
Yeah, I'll actually just show up. These are kind of my in-process notes. Eventually I cleaned it up, but just to kind of similar to what you were saying there, you can see wait till here, the slash 15K and the slash 35K. So same as you're saying, and just pulled them to be like, okay, what are those comps? I then took a weighted average just to better understand for the previous holos, those that had a 15K and those who had a 35K, what was the rolling average for those, for their ratio between the 15 and their 99, the 35K and their 99, and then just tried to find a range. And then there's a little pushing and pulling. And what I'd love to do is kind of talk through a couple of these just to get your take on where we differed and where you see kind of the current market, because I think people right now are probably pretty interested with regards to, well, is this what the prices should be, or is there value now and we think that in the future they should go up? And so here's one example: is the LeBron versus the LeBron. The LeBron /85 that was released January 5th, January 7th. It's Series 2. It's a legendary. Its low ass is 60,000. This is the Holo. Yes, there's about 14 more of them. And this one's currently going for 25, 30,000. Is that 60 just not realistic and no one's actually going to buy it for 60 and it's just sitting there? Or is the 25, 30 just being based off the people who are flipping and wanted to get out and should be closer? What are your thoughts?
So a couple things there. I was looking at that as well. And when I saw the model came out with like 30 and I looked at the LeBron and I pulled his Series 2 Legendary, I was like, shit, this is, something's wrong with the model. This is really bad. And then I even put a blurb in the article where I was like, this definitely starts to break down with LeBron. I'd be hesitant to plug him in there. So I think the other thing that I wanted to look at when I was researching that was looking at the recent sales, and there aren't many as far as I can remember, right? So I think the thing that we have to keep in mind is this far out from those moments being released, that LeBron Legendary, the 85 count, those changed hands probably a while ago for the majority, right? Like folks that wanted to flip them and make some money sold them, and they sold them to people that are willing to hang on to this for the long haul. And probably folks that bought in likely early before the market exploded and aren't looking at times like now as a great time to sell that really large investment. So I think it's not surprising that the holders of that asset, this LeBron here, that they are like setting the expectations high. And they're saying, if I can sell it at 60, great, but I'm in no rush to sell this. I'm holding a LeBron legendary moment. And I think that sort of grit there, like they're not going to cave. I would love to know, and we could look it up, but how many people that are holding that moment pulled that from a pack? Because I think, those people I could see at this point maybe wanting to sell and make some amazing profit off of it. But I imagine a lot of the people holding that are folks that bought it and are less likely to sell it on it for cheap.
Yeah.
And I think when you compare that to the new Holo, yeah,
we can even see that. So I'm on that LeBron, and we can see that there hasn't been a transaction in a month, essentially. And then before that, it's been 2 months. But you can even, when you're looking at the buyers list, right, you see some of the same names. Like we've seen Library, whoever this person is, has bought multiple of these. So I think you're making a great point, basically, in terms of the clientele that holds this LeBron versus the one that just happened to pull it in the pack this week. Sorry to cut you off. Just that was a good point.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, I think it's something you have to keep in mind. The people that pulled it from a pack, they invested $1,000 and they probably got 800 of that back from the MGLEs, or I don't know, $500. So it's a lot easier to make a story why someone would want to sell it for cheaper than that 50. So once it came out and I saw it falling 30, 25, I'm not super shocked. I think the other part that I definitely noticed was if you look at how many sales there have been for moments of $50,000 or more, you could probably count them on both hands, right? There's only been a handful of them. And I would be surprised to see that we release 99 out into the wild and those types of purchases are happening once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So maybe one of them sells, but at the end of the day, that's 98 other people that are now trying to get the most cash they can get, and they're going to undercut each other.
Right. And one other thing that we actually put out on Twitter today, but agree with what you're saying, if we sort by the percent listed, so you were saying earlier, like how many people, are actually posting these, the top percent listed moments, without a doubt, are almost all the Holo Icon Series 2. And like ridiculous amounts, like 50% almost, and then ranging down to almost all of them are between 30 and 50%. And I think it aligns with what you're saying in that people who got those packs, they may not be bullish on long-term Top Shot. Their goal might just be to flip and get out. And it might be the wives, the girlfriends. It might be the people who, are just kind of in it and, this is the most they've ever had a chance to get in NFTs. And so they're going to do whatever possible to sell. And for them, it's more important to kind of get that sale even if you are losing 20, 25, 30% of value, it's more important just to get that sale.
Exactly.
And like, yeah, that LeBron, like I agree with you. And this is where human element should have come into the projections more, because should have just kind of thought about, okay, a bunch of people get LeBron, 99 get LeBron. Like, yeah, okay, maybe it's worth it. It's up for 55, but people aren't going to buy it significantly. And maybe, you know what? Maybe if we weren't in such a bear market, maybe if we had transactions listed and people saw that there were purchases at that higher amount. Now there weren't. I don't think it actually was a first purchase until 25, and then so it did reach that kind of level. But I do think like there is an element to people just want to get rid of them, and there's nothing wrong with that for those people. But that's something we definitely learned.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And some of them might be, you know, I think, yeah, people get called flippers. Just because someone wants to sell it doesn't necessarily mean they're a flipper, right? Like I think we even had someone DM us, Justin, that was like, "Hey, I'm a Top Shot collector. I'm long-term bullish, but like if I had pulled a LeBron, I would have sold it so that 100%. I could reinvest that money in other parts of my collection." And like that's also completely fair too, right? Like if you have the opportunity to have one LeBron that's maybe worth 25,000, or you have the opportunity to own however many moments that 25,000 can get you, like I totally get that perspective as well. So
flipping has a negative connotation.
Exactly.
And by default, we are just saying flipping, meaning you got your pack and you're selling. Now that doesn't mean you are buying you're flipping your pack, selling, and withdrawing. But for a lot of people, majority who get that pack, it's not smart for you to have 90% of your value in one moment in your Top Shot portfolio. It makes more sense to sell that and kind of diversify among things that you are more, bullish on, or just you enjoy more. So nothing wrong with that at all. But it needs to be taken into account when we're trying to understand why there are so many sellers of these. And with the Holo challenge that's going on right now, like we won't go too much into this right now because we've been trying to focus that in the Discord. But like that, understanding that motivation helps us make a decision on whether or not we should be buying for the challenge, and if so, when.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, I've got another one. Steph Curry, 20,000 was his kind of low ask. He was a Holo for more recently. He was in one of the earlier ones. His challenge utility was gone. We've seen sales up until a week or so ago. And if we compare Steph's prices to some of the players, such as Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is going for more for all of his, rookie moments than Steph's S2s. If we compare Ja to Steph, they're pretty comparable. But why is Steph's moment going for 2x Edwards, 4x Ja?
It's a good question. I think it's just at the end of the day, it's Steph Curry could hang it up tonight and he'd be like one of the best basketball players of all time, Hall of Famer. You know what you're getting. And I think that risk is so little, right? Like there's nothing he could really do at this point. So it's almost a guaranteed bet. That's how I see it. I'm also a diehard Warriors fan, so that helps too. I think that's interesting. At the higher
price,
right?
That does matter. Maybe at the higher price, because at the /35Ks, like the Edwards and such are, I think, 2-3x more than a Steph. But maybe, as you're saying, at a higher price, maybe you want that safety. Or maybe it is what we're saying, where it doesn't matter. The people who were going to flip the Steph already flipped it, so that price is stabilized. We're still seeing the impact of the sellers.
Right. I think that could be it. And I think if you're someone who, like 99% of Top Shot collectors that don't have the money to pull the trigger on a Steph, like sure, you'll take a risk on an Edwards 35K Series 2 from his rookie season, right? Like it's a fun bet to make. It's not incredibly expensive. And you're hoping on both his career going up as well as the overall Top Shot market going up. So I think it's a more common and accessible pick to make. And I think that's why when you compare the market caps of these base moments to the legendary ones, like at first glance, you might think they should be the same, right? Like we're valuing this player. Granted, you're also valuing the moment, the video. And I think that's going to change over time in the long run. The moment itself is actually going to matter. Right now, it's just kind of names in a spreadsheet. So you might expect the market caps to be the same, but when it comes to just pure accessibility at this point in Top Shot, we shouldn't be surprised that the market cap is so much larger for these commons, just because more people are able to go purchase them.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. I think I'm done on Holo. TJ, anything else
done
you have
on
in mind?
Holo? No, I think you guys made a lot of good points. I think it's just the nature of, you get that legendary pack and you pull some of those moments, and people want to get rid of them, to either take it off the site or to reinvest it. Hopefully to reinvest it. Saw a good question in the chat. Where is it? Yeah, from Harry here. I'd love to see what percentage of people who sold a holo actually reinvested it back into Top Shot. So I think that's an interesting analysis that maybe someone on our team or someone out in the community, there's a ton of amazing analysts out there doing a bunch of different deep dives. I think that this would be an interesting one. Yeah. If someone out there wants to take this on, I think it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, the data should be there.
Very simple, because we can all easily track who had them, who sold them, and then going into those person's accounts and seeing what activity happened afterwards.
And I'd say give them some time, right, before you go bringing the pitchforks out and say this person's a flipper, because they haven't spent their 20,000 yet. Like, hey, get with it. Spend your 20K.
I like that.
Maybe this analysis give it a week, like a month down the line or something. Yeah. Like, my goodness, it takes a lot. If you're gonna, you get a moment and you're able to sell it for 20K. It takes a long time to reinvest 20K. Like, that's no joke. That's a lot of money. You don't want to just buy up whatever. Like, you want to make sure that you're doing what's best for you with that money. So I think that's a great point as well.
I think it's a really interesting idea around someone that pulls a LeBron from a pack, where if you decide to hold on to your LeBron and you're just holding on to it, you're essentially just betting on how much is the general Top Shot market going to go up, in my opinion, right? Like, if the general Top Shot market's doubling, your LeBron's probably going to double. Like, LeBron's career, sort of like Steph, I think is fairly locked in and priced in at this point, unless he goes on to play some absurd number of seasons. Like, he wins 5 straight championships from here on out. Maybe it changes even more somehow, but I feel like it's already priced in, and it's an interesting idea, being able to cash it out and reinvest it in other players that are maybe riskier and diversify, and you're both betting on Top Shot as well as other players' potential. So I would put the pitchforks down for folks that are maybe selling their LeBron for 25 grand.
And Taylor is very aware of pitchforks. Taylor is very aware of communities rallying around his articles to
couple. That one brought some eyeballs.
I want to bring up one more thing, because I saw at least 2 people mention it on Twitter now, that apparently someone bought up a bunch of the John Walls. So let's take a look at that. So we've got the John Wall Holo Stingray 629 bought. I think they said it was 11. So
wow.
So people tweeted at us. Multiple people tweeted at us to say that one person bought 11 of the John Walls, and so I just went to look at that, and yes, indeed. Whoever Stingray 629 is bought 11 John Walls.
And then, not surprisingly, right, you see right after that someone tailing them and hopping on board and spending 2,200. And before this person bought all of these, what was the most?
Yeah,
right. Someone bought number 9, right? But
yeah.
And John Wall is not part of the current challenge, so just throwing that out there.
Interesting.
Is this the same person that was buying a whole bunch of Malik Monks as well? Because that one threw me for a surprise, but I don't know. We could check.
We could check them out. I don't want to put this person too much on blast, though.
No.
We could look into their account and stuff, but people can do it on their own time. You can go to the.
If we're doing chat questions, can you go to number 1 jersey listings? Because we have had a couple people, or I saw at least a couple times. People were asking about the price of a number 1 for a LeBron, and so if you can search for a LeBron. I think there's actually a jersey number and a number 1 that are both going for about 40,000. And so people were asking, is this an unrealistic amount? So you could get the Seeing Stars Challenge Reward number 1 for 40,000. You could get his jersey for 40,000. I think this is a great tool to kind of get an idea of where there may be value for jersey numbers. I don't know. I think using that price to lowest ask multiple helps as well, especially for the higher priced ones, to get an idea. Usually for the higher priced ones, I'm looking for something of a multiple lower than kind of 4 or 5. For the middle of the pack range, I'm looking for something usually under about 20. And then for the cheapest ones, I'm usually just looking for a lowest ask of a moment that is something special for that player in hopes that maybe that player or a huge fan of that player is willing to buy. So I think I have 3 jersey numbers for players' first moments.
I was about to say this tool may have cost Justin a bunch of money. Didn't you buy like a Mason Plumlee jersey number or something? What was the ridiculous? You did a ridiculous one at one point.
I mean, I think all 3 were pretty ridiculous.
I do have a Holo Icon jersey match of my own. So,
nice.
What's the story behind
that one, it was the first Holo Icon drop. Me and some buddies, I remember funny looking back, thinking like all calling each other saying, should we spend $1,000 on this pack? And it was like, I don't know. And we decided to all go in together. We were like, all right, we're all going to try to get a pack. And if any of us get it, we're going to, essentially all together hold this. So it is 1/4 of a Drew Holiday jersey match, but fully in my account. But we're all trying to figure out what to do with it. And it's a tricky thing because like someone like him, he's been an all-star, right? Once he's like up and down, middle of the pack, NBA player. But am I going to get someone to really write a check for a Drew Holiday whose name isn't Drew Holiday, right? Maybe for him, that's like the moment he wants. But for like your Top Shot collector, could be a hard sell.
Yeah, that's really cool. Especially it's cool because producer Cupe is going to pull the Chris Paul number 3 jersey tonight later on. So
just foreshadowing.
That's all I'm doing. I think that's really cool. Like way to just give that lead.
Anytime.
All right. So I am looking at my account right now, and it's easy to find out which jersey I have because if I go to the gain loss, it looks like I've lost a lot of money on these. So I have a Tim Hardaway Jr. jersey, a Mason Plumlee jersey, and a Mike Muscala jersey, and it's all their first moments.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah, but my thought. So I think they were all around $1,000. And so I was kind of just monitoring. We actually had that tool as a spreadsheet first, and was just looking to see like when there were outliers. And if it was the player's first moment, I was like, hey, if this player joins the site, if this person like this is the big thing they want, this is probably their most valuable, their most desired moment. So I buy them. And I don't know. I don't think I'm going broke on buying $1,000, $1,500 first debut jerseys. But
it's probably worth a chance, yeah.
Right. This all started because we were saying we didn't want to put pitchforks in the people. And my thought process was like I have $3,000-$4,000 like in the Dapper because I'm looking for when I can find like a good moment jersey. TJ, I will say the floor of these number ones and jerseys used to be a lot lower before we put this tool out. Now, like whenever anything gets like the 1,500, like that just gets sniped.
They're sniping it from you.
They're sniping it from someone, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun tool. I like it. So I mean, I'm not really trying to buy too many jersey number ones right now, but I at least like looking at it just to kind of see what's out there.
It's the Dingling. We call it the Dingling page because Dingling now has 30 plus number ones, has a ton of jerseys as well. If Dingling wanted to make a page, this would be his page.
Just change the URL /
Oh, cool. Alrighty. I think that just about covers it with everything with regards to the Holo Icon. And then we can move on to the next topic, which is back to the Cool Cats. So Cool Cats 4, we've got moments that have been minted. We have Chris Paul, Drew Holiday, Christian Wood, Gordon Hayward, and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Oh, yeah, we've got the Cool Cats hat on. It is
Cool
time.
Cats back in action.
Ready to go. We know that there's going to be a Cool Cats 4 challenge. We know that the challenge reward is going to be Russell Westbrook. And there's a lot of – this is one of the fun things to me. Like whenever, especially with the Cool Cats, right, the Dapper team has shown some sort of theme behind how they're grouping these Cool Cats together. We also know that as a part of the challenge, there will be 5 common moments to go along with the 5 Cool Cats. And there's all kinds of speculation going on with regards to what we think or what people think these moments are going to be. I think when you look at the top movers on our site, a lot of them are somehow tied to some of these theories. So Justin, what is the speculation going on? What are the different rumors or theories that are out there, and how much validity do they have in your opinion?
Okay. I don't want to be negative Nancy here. Debbie Downer now. Okay. I love the idea of there being patterns and puzzles and what Dapper Labs is doing, just making the fun aspect to it. I loved what they did with, the First Mint guys did a great job with the cold weather stuff. And I think either Phil or whoever it was kind of got a nice head start on that with the cold weather. I know John Boy, and who's friends with the OTM and the MCC, is always active on this stuff as well. So there's a lot of people who are kind of putting some interesting, ideas out there, and I think it's really fun. And I think there are some accurate ones out there. But I need to throw a little kind of sand on the fire. Let me share my screen again.
Justin, come on. It's Wednesday night. We're having good vibes. We're about to open a legendary pack. Tell the people everything's going to be okay. They want to know it's going to be okay.
We need to educate the people. Okay. The reason why I'm throwing sand on the fire is because even if we identify who these cool cat commons are, it doesn't mean that it's actually a good buy right now. Now, it could be, but what we see, so here were 4 of them. I have the 5th one too, but it just is ugly from the screen.
So can you say what the theories were for people that may not be as plugged into?
Yeah, and I'm probably
if we can remember.
Yeah, so there's 2 ideas. There's either one, it's a stray cat, meaning that these players were all kind of either traded free agents, new teams, they moved to somewhere else. And so there's a list of kind of 5 players. I don't have it with me. I don't remember off the top of my head. And that's kind of the stray cat theory. The other one is called the ice in the veins theory. And this is that for each of those 5 cool cats, they were all involved in buzzer beaters. So people were looking to find 35K players that were also involved in buzzer beaters. I think between the 2, I'm more leaning towards the stray cat one. There's also some other variables, such as you can't have a high circulation count because they like to release those commons with the cool cat ones later on. And that's the reason why I'm not actually bullish on trying to buy these ahead of time. Because we've seen in the past that the cool commons that are included are heavily included, are in the challenge, are heavily included in the packs for the cool cats. So, and that's what we've seen here for Cool Cats 3. If you look, it was about March 22nd was the drop. So for a very short period of time, once it was announced that these players were in the that these players were announced and part of the challenge, the prices went up for like literally a couple hours, an hour or 2. And it was very hard to sell. If you're able to sell, well done. That's what you should be trying to do at this time. But after that, the prices dropped for even lower than we were before. And yes, the entire market was going down, and maybe that's actually still the case with a bear market. But in general, the main idea is just there are just going to be so many of these still released that if you're buying now, you're buying when there's a lower supply. So it's an inflated market. Even if you get ahead of the game, it still might be more cost efficient to wait until after the challenge. And then throw in the risk that you might be wrong and you might end up going and buying 81 Al Horfords. I don't know.
I was thinking in my head, I'm like, maybe you're just burnt because you bought 80 Al Horfords, Maybe you're mentally weak now, Justin.
I was wrong, and I learned from it. This seems to be a new theme of mine.
One question I have on that is, did anyone catch the mint count on the new Cool Cats? Is it 20 or 30K? 20K.
20,000.
And what was the mint count on the last? Was it 15?
It was 15.
Okay. I think that's the only other thing that I'd call out as to maybe help the cause of them like retaining a little bit more value is the supply of 35K for the base hasn't changed, and there's 5K, so like 30% more people that could theoretically complete the challenge. So there could be a little bit more supply of those, maybe motivating more people to complete it, but I don't think enough to like necessarily counteract everything. But probably all going to come out a wash. And yeah, I personally love this whole puzzle solving thing. Like as an NBA fan, I love it. I wish they did more of it. I was staring at that list for like 30 minutes, and the best I could come up with was like half these guys either have roots to California or Charlotte. And that was the only thing I could come up with. Like a lot of UCLA guys, a lot of Hornets. I've learned like Christian Wood made his debut with the Hornets. I didn't know that. So a lot of fun little things. So if anyone can tie that thread together, let me know. Maybe there's a third option, but I think the first one's probably it.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I love the idea of it. I hope they do more of these. this individual one with the circumstances, I just don't think it's worth going, because I have seen people who have bought 20, 30, 40 of these. And they're just making a major play, like as if they're trying to buy 71 or 81 Al Horfords or whatever. And like, I've learned that's not what you should do. But like, yeah, I just think, and that's another just overall theme. You shouldn't be buying moments when the circulation count is very low. There are literally moments out there where only 2% of the moments are released. And so if you really want that Malik Monk or the other 10 players, 2 rookies that are included in that, just wait, because their prices are going to go down as more are released. And this is something that, we spoke with last week with Max, and I hope that there's some resolution with Top Shot in the future so that this isn't the case. But like, it is, we're hoping to educate everyone to kind of increase that knowledge around like, hey, don't buy the ones that have those circulation. We have it on the site and stuff. But people are still going to make those mistakes, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I think the circulation percentage thing is definitely real important to be aware of. I'll plug. I know we tweeted it out earlier today, but just so for anyone that may not be aware, if you go to our website and go to the moments page, we have a column for percent in circulation, and you can hover over it and see that Tony Snell, for example, 2% are in circulation, and there's a bunch of those where that's the case, and then a lot of them are minted and still to come in packs or maybe being held in packs. So just be aware before you're going to purchase a moment that you have all of the information. I think it's really important. And, it doesn't mean that you can't buy one of these. I don't think it's recommended, but at least if you are going to, be aware of what you're getting yourself into and the potential implications and the fact that more and more of these moments are going to be coming out.
Right. And because if you look at chat, we'll pull up Corey just here mentioning that Monk was at 300. You then have Brett saying that, hey, if you're dumb enough to do this, then you're going to deserve to lose money. But I disagree, because we have a lot of people who are new to the ecosystem, and they may just want to be a person who's like, I want to buy players that I like. And, ooh, there's an Malik Monk out there. Oh, I really want to own that because I think he's going to have a great career. Or I really like him as a fan. We don't want to punish those users just because they haven't spent the level of time and the hours that we all have. So that's why, like, I'm hoping there's a bit more of an education. I don't want there to be a learning curve, and you buy that Malik Monk, you just see the price continue to go down, down, down. Even if he has a 40-point game, like, it won't matter. That's a poor experience for a new user, and that's what I'm hoping to kind of avoid. And yeah, I see Brad just playing around. I still wanted to make the point, and so I'm taking advantage of your post.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see it right here, right? Big spike, and this is all. It may look like a long graph, but this was as of yesterday. So it spiked up and then has come right back down. And yeah, we can see out of 12,000, there's only 279 that are actually owned, and the majority of them have been minted. And so the difference here is that this means that they're in a pack, so sitting in someone's account in an unopened pack. And then this means that they've been minted and will be included in a future pack drop. So just, we're trying to put together as many bits of information that we can, like Justin said, just to provide that transparency, so that, and it's the beauty of the blockchain, right? All of this data is available. It's just a matter of finding where that data exists and finding ways to present it to people so that people can be educated and can make smart decisions, or at least have all the information and know what they're getting themselves into. I think that's the most important part. Like you said, it's a really bad experience for someone that's a brand new user, has no idea that there's only 2% of these Malik Monks, sees that there's 12,000, goes, oh, this is great, I want one, I'm going to go buy it. And then they just see it crater from there. And they're like, wait, what the heck just happened? I hate Top Shot. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
All righty. We're coming up on the 50-minute mark here. Any final thoughts from you guys? I think we should get the producer Cupe and the fun aspect of the show here shortly. But if there's final thoughts or anything you wanted to make sure we touched on with regards to Cool Cats or the general state of the market, now would be the time to do so.
Taylor, I want to give you a chance. What are you working on? Like, what are you interested in? What do we have kind of upcoming? Just kind of interested in what you're going on.
So it's always, I take it week by week, right? I have my newsletter every week, and I kind of cut the line and had my projections take the slot for this newsletter. So I got to have a relaxing Tuesday night and not be up till midnight cranking this out. So I take it week by week. I try to just balance different content that, is for folks that are brand new, for folks that are deep into the weeds. And at the end of the day, trying to make it still accessible to someone, right? Like my litmus test is, when I send this to my dad, can he read it and totally get what's going on? Someone who got his first pack, but, is not deep into the weeds. So I'm bouncing around a couple different ideas. I think one really interesting concept that I've been thinking about is, if you look at like traditional basketball stats, right? We have like every player performance stat you could ever think of that just captures every single thing they do on the court. And there's nothing that really captures like their flashiness or how like popular their game is or how much people like their style. And I think what's really interesting is Top Shot is sort of that, right? Like if you look at players, you can find very comparable players that have very different styles of play that the market likes or doesn't like, right? Like you can look at someone like Andrew Wiggins, who's a very solid NBA player who just gets no love on Top Shot just because his game is not super flashy. So I think that's a really interesting thing that I'm starting to poke into a little bit more, that sort of by chance Top Shot created this, when you're going to have to factor out rookies and things like that are skewing things, but it could be an interesting thing that really shows like how much people appreciate their style and their way of playing the game, which is hard to quantify in any other way.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because we all have a kind of natural inclination. We kind of understand that, like, and this happened in the physical card market, big men just don't get the love that the kind of small men, high point scorers do. I mean, and Wiggins is only, I think, 6'7". He was a number 1 overall draft pick. Yeah, he stumbled early on in his career, but he's definitely turned it around. But agreed, like, he doesn't have the, name recognition or, snazziness that you would talk about. We've actually, so Bachman, who does our NBA player ratings, which kind of gives a career evaluation, he actually includes some of the off the court stuff. So whether it's a social presence, whether it's their likelihood of maybe being an announcer afterwards, their just overall brand recognition. Because I agree with you. I think it's very important. Like when we're talking about buying moments, it's not just how many rings or all-stars, it's whether or not you like the player. So I'm interested to see what you do, because I know everything you do is kind of taking a data packed approach. So interested to see kind of how you kind of address that.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping to do it for this next week's post, but no guarantees. Could be seen in a month, 6 months. We don't know.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Awesome. Love that. And you guys can go ahead, follow Taylor on Twitter at Taylor_Stein, putting out a ton of great content there. You can sign up for his newsletter, all that good stuff. And then I think we'll just ask you one final question, Taylor, before we bring producer Cupe on. Is just what do you think is to come in the next, 1 to 3 months, right? Between now and playoffs and end of playoffs, what do you think is going to happen with Top Shot? Any kind of thoughts on what could come next, state of the market, general feelings on the next couple of months?
I think I'm going to table any more like bold projections or predictions, but I think we're in an interesting point of the season. I feel like this is the basketball or Top Shot equivalent of like the dog days of summer in baseball, where it just kind of goes on. We kind of in this awkward stage, right? We had this massive boom. We now have come back down to earth. We have the playoffs on the horizon and not too much necessarily shuffling from here to the end of the season. I think maybe you could talk about MVP race, where that race has sort of been the same for the last 3 months, right? We've kind of had our heavy hitters, and after that, it's been pretty consistent through the whole season. There haven't been any huge swings there necessarily. So I think that could be something something that could change a little bit as we come down the stretch, right? I think if that's something that someone wants to value is MVP, right? Like if Jokic can carry the Nuggets to a 3 seed for the rest of the stretch here without Jamal Murray, I think that could be huge and something that maybe you'd see people start to value on Top Shot. But aside from that, I feel like we're in this kind of tricky phase where not too much is going to happen until the playoffs. And with I think the restrictions on the legendary pack totally make sense. I think valuing collectors is great. One downside of that, I think, is you don't get the stories of folks that heard about a legendary pack drop and just made an account and got a pack and changed their life. And as much that may be just pure buzz, that may be something really there. But I think some of that definitely creates a buzz that gets people joining the platform. So I think there's positive and, pluses and minuses there. But it's going to be a little bit of a grind, I think, unless something drastically turns around to the playoffs. I think we may be in for a little bit of a, kind of steady state until we hit the playoffs.
Makes sense. I like that outlook. Nice realistic outlook. That's what we're all about here, right?
I wish I could.
It's not always just going to be sunshine and
great.
rainbows. It is what it is. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But
yeah,
I mean, my thing is, I just love following the market every day, no matter what, right? Even if I know I'm not going to buy anything, it's just fun to see what's going on, fun to see the direction things are headed, and I'm hopeful that we get some more buzz once the playoffs start and
totally
get a little ramp up there. So
yeah,
cool. All righty, I think we should bring on the man himself that is typically behind the cameras and will be joining us in front of the cameras because he is the only one in the OTM team that was able to secure a Holo Icon 2 legendary packs. Been waiting on this for over 48 hours now. Producer Cupe, can you please enter the building? Or am I supposed to enter you into the building? There you go. What's up?
What's going on?
All righty. We need like a Producer Cupe introduction video or something. Whenever you bring you on stream, I feel like we should be playing like a 30-minute video of you.
Can we just replay the launch video?
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking. Like I'm ready.
Probably on my list of things to do, which is only getting longer and certainly not getting shorter these days. So,
I'm not.
But yes,
I'm not kidding. Do you have the launch video? Can we watch the launch video before the Holo? Like, I feel like we need to pump this place up before a Holo. I really should have led with should have prepped you for this earlier on. But I assume you have one of those Ouija boards where you can just hit all the buttons and it ends up just shooting off.
My computer is already going to get made fun of like 4 or 5 times today whenever TJ is yelling that the moments don't play perfectly, and if I need to update the or upload again the launch video, I think it would be a little bit of a challenge at the current moment. So apologize. I did take it out of the StreamYard, so we don't have it available.
Okay.
We'll add a Producer Cupe intro video to the arsenal in the future. But all right, Cupe, man, we're gonna turn it over to you, and we're gonna get things going.
Yeah. So was fortunate enough to get a pack. I'm always monitoring the chat, and the chat's interesting. I think we're seeing these days a lot of like both bear and bull comments. I'd say overall we're trying to let the chat play out on most of the shows because we want to see the different perspectives and the viewpoints. But you're always going to see only the bots get the packs, only the influencers get the packs. I think between Justin, TJ, myself, Bach, Neil, over the course of like the last, 8 or so pack drops, I think we've only got like 3 or 4 packs. I think overall there's just always going to be that variance. I remember a time where I think it was like 5 or 6 drops in a row where I was on my computer, I was getting very similar numbers, and I was even like, all right, I'm using my phone for the next drop. So I think all of that is super normal. But then, things sometimes fall your way. At the end of the day, it is a lottery system. There is luck involved in all of this. So I'm super grateful to be incredibly lucky. So I've got all the lucky things pulled out tonight. I have 1 hole in one in my life. I got the golf ball. I got the flag behind me. Probably the luckiest moment of my life since before this pack luck that I've got. So I've got all the luck going my way right now.
Love it.
Yeah, so I did some analysis. I think Taylor is spot on with some of your comments, and TJ too, around flipping, right, and selling the if I would have pulled a LeBron, would you sell it? And it's certainly like something I'm thinking through. I initially said, well, if I would pull a moment for $50,000, for me personally, $50,000 is an insane amount of excess liquid capital to do a lot of things with, including buy Top Shots, invest in crypto. There's just a lot of things you could do with that money. But then I also think there's the other aspect of we're in sort of a bear market, and you see these people that are buying the Holo Icons right now are the diamond hands, are the people that are bullish on the platform. And when you're looking at moments that are out of 99, it's just insane how rare that's going to look very soon. And so I'm super pumped about just opening this pack in general and having one of these legendary moments. For me, I had 72 moments before the drop. I had spent over 1,000. So, but I had 0 rare and 0 legendary moments. So I'm going to acquire a few of those tonight, which I'm super pumped about. And I will say this too, our MCC Mission Controls, the Discord, has been just incredibly positive over the course of the last couple of days. I think the community aspect is something that is, it gets hits sometimes about like, oh, being negative or being toxic, and there's toxic people. And I think you're always going to have that when you're talking about a couple 100,000 users on the platform that are super active. But man, it's been awesome to be part of MCC from the very beginning, and some of the people that have stuck with us and been with us since the very, very beginning. But we keep adding new people that are bringing great analysis, that are continuing to be positive. And I think we were fortunate enough to have, we've got like 2,000 or so members, and we have 5 or 6 pools of legendary packs in there, people sharing who they got. I think the first person that pulled a pack pulled a Lebron, and everyone was liking that comment and loving that. So the vibes around the community have been just incredibly awesome. So super pumped, and thanks to everyone who's reached out, said congratulations and good luck tonight. I'm turning red in the face, and my
saying good luck.
Sweaty, so
I love it. I mean, Cupe gives a whole speech about how he's basically going to hold on to this moment forever, and then he's going to pull the number 3 CP3 and just have to gift it to me. It's amazing. I can't wait.
It's certainly not getting
what's out there. What do we know? Do we know what's out there? I know the people want you to open the pack, so let's try and go through it quickly. But let me share my screen here real quick. We'll get to it eventually, people. But we want to. We don't know how often this is going to happen. I mean,
give Cupe his time, his moment.
Rare, yeah. This is
all right. So what do we got?
So I completely agree. Can you guys see, or do I need to?
Yep, you can see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I completely agree. We don't know how often this is going to happen. I think getting a legendary pack is going to be insanely impossible going forward, and you're going to have to get super lucky. Not that I got super lucky this time, right? So who knows if you're ever going to get this lucky. So I did sort of spend the last 48 plus hours that Justin and TJ absolutely forced me to wait to rip it on stream in doing some analysis. So what's out there? I think there's 5 moments here that I highlighted that are insanely awesome, that would love to pull. Obviously the LeBron, obviously the Anthony Edwards. I think 3 other ones that to me were I was pumped about as I watched each one of these. The Ja is just a great moment. I think bullish on Ja too long term. So I loved just watching that one and checking that out. CP3, Justin has pitched the CP3 number 3 or CP number 3 so many times. So I think that would just be insane to pull on stream. And then I think I'm still pretty kind of newer to NBA and watching a lot more NBA these days, but even before Top Shot, I always loved when Dame would go off in the playoffs. I just really like Damian Lillard. I like his game. I think he has just a really cool approach, and the shot in this moment is pretty sweet. So that was another one that I really liked. And so, of course, the chat, there was a few people that were like, I heard someone's going to give away a $1 moment. So yes, because the community has been so good, we're going to do the $1 giveaway for 2 of the commons that are in this pack. But if I do in fact pull one of these highlighted moments, maybe I won't do it for $1. I don't know. We'll figure out. But I'm going to give away an MGLE tonight before we end the stream as well. So we'll figure out what that looks like, because I think this community and the people that have watched our shows have really just been awesome people. So pumped to give a little bit back and put some additional future pack luck back into the community.
Love it. Let's do it. I'm hype.
All right, let's do it. Let me
Hey, producer Cupe, do you know how to make sure that there's sound on the?
Man, if I mess this up, I'd get booed.
We're gonna be
forever.
looking for a new producer if you mess this up. This is your one shining moment.
The legendary music is pretty intense too. It's not like the simple bass pack. It's coming at you.
Yeah, seriously. And I really like the and I don't know if this has evolved before. I've never gotten a pack that's not a common. But with this, when you hover over the different areas, you can see which one is going to be a common, an MGLE, and the legendary. So we can make sure we get the commons first, MGLE, and then work our way up.
Yeah, we got some technical difficulties. Hold on, give me a second.
Ready? Here, Cupe. Hey, your computer sucks, Cupe. There.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Boo. Wait till we watch the moments and it's all choppy. It's gonna be the worst. It's gonna be so tilting.
Music's gonna sound like it's coming from a 1960s.
It's gonna be great. There it is. Holo Icon.
I have no idea what those look like.
Let me adjust the sound a little bit here. I didn't wear the Bose headphones tonight that I typically have on because I literally cannot hear anything of anyone talking whenever you're trying to watch the clips. So, all right, so let's do it. Let's open it up.
Ja number 1 or CP3 number 3. Here we go.
This is hype.
I'm definitely nervous.
As you should be.
Yeah.
What was it? How many Lebrons were still there? I mean, obviously that's the most expensive.
Can you guys hear the music?
It'll start up after this.
I can not hear the music.
Oh my! No, we don't hear it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, here we go.
Now we hear it.
All right, so that's your holo.
We want to do the white ones first, the underline white.
Come on!
All right, we're gonna go from the bottom.
All right. There you go. 2-8.
I will play the clip, even though my computer's gonna get roasted again. But I will play a little bit of the clip. We'll see if it wants to play.
Lopez.
I mean, I think the ball probably went in. Oh no, it actually missed it. We got the rebound in the putback. There you go.
Oh, Ja.
Oh, we got a Ja.
There's a Ja.
You might get 2 Ja's. Keep it going.
Is it really choppy?
Yeah, it's not good. Oh, please. Overset's gonna love you. I hear this might be the cheapest number right now. $6.
I heard this is worth like a couple $100,000, right?
It needs to end at 69. There's only a 49. You're close.
Yeah, 20 off.
If you add 2 and 4 and 1 and 5, those are both 6, so it's really like 669. I mean, you're close.
Numerology expert, Mr. Justin Halsey.
All right. Keep it going. We got a couple more comments. Come on!
Danny Green.
Okay. Okay, you're just getting rid of all the bad ones to begin with. That was still solid.
People are asking to kill the music. Should we do that? I mean, we really can't.
Maybe. I'm okay with that.
Should I kill it?
Yeah, kill it for now. And then before we open the legendary, we'll put it back on to get hype up.
So kill it for now and then put it back on for the legendary? Is that what I
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
All right.
All right. So we got 1 or 2 more commons. I think 2 maybe.
It's like when the lights come on at the bar.
Right. Yeah.
Like, whoa.
We got Mr. COVID himself.
Rudy Gobert. Yeah.
I mean, I know, all the moments need to be actual plays, but if like there was a moment with him actually just touching all the mics and stuff, like
how insane would that be?
Gotta happen.
All right, last common.
Okay. Ooh, good serial to finish. Oh,
another VV.
Oh, that's like a double rainbow.
Double Van Vliet. Wow.
God, that's the 4 Vs.
We got to have at least one of them going up for $1 shortly.
Someone go ping Overzet and get him in here. He needs to know.
Yeah, let him know. Let him know.
Actually,
right, I'm
going to give a pause real quick. Coop, I want everyone on Twitter, just go tag Pete Overzet in a tweet and tell him that we're stealing all his Van Vliets. And if he wants them, we're selling them for $1 and he needs to come in here. We are going to crash the Van Vliet market for him, because if the lowest asking of Van Vliet goes to $1,
his account valuation is going way down.
Pretty much dropped by 500%.
Let him know. All right, let's go bottom up. Stay with the bottom up approach.
MGLEs.
Pelicans.
Oh,
Josh Hart, number 50.
Okay.
All right, number 50, solid.
Nice.
50s.
Yeah, I'll take this for sure.
I like 50.
I mean, also
50 is awesome, man.
Mr.
Josh
Holo. Mr. Holo himself.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And we said this on Monday. The players in these MGLE packs are not they're not superstars. Like, you're not gonna. The expectations can't be super great. Yeah,
that's a pretty good MGLE poll. All else
for sure.
Yeah,
especially number 50.
I was gonna say I'll definitely take 2-digit serial, and 50 on the nose is nice. All right, Taylor, give me left or right here. Left or right?
Let's go right.
Right. All right.
Hey,
there you go. Taylor's team.
Your squad, Oubre.
Kelly Oubre. Is it a dunk? Oh, it's the putback.
Oh,
that's a dunk.
Pretty nice.
Putback dunk.
Still weird not seeing him like as a Celtic. I just always have that. Just I don't know. Never a Celtics fan, so I just see his face. Just
that Charlotte. I think that's Charlotte, right? Yeah, that green in the paint there always gets me going. I think in the moment.
I like that. It looks
interesting.
Sweet.
I like the thumbnail. It's nice.
Pistons. Killian, I love this.
Hey, nice rookie.
155, yeah, rookie. Floater. All right, man.
You got a badge,
and
right?
Yeah. And then there was one.
A badge.
I think it has a badge, right? Yep.
Yeah.
2 badges.
There was one.
Alrighty.
All right, and then there was one. Should I play the music or not?
I think maybe play it and then cut it and then open it.
That works. Get some pumped up. I mean,
I feel like we gotta get hype for this.
We all know Chris Paul number 3. Chat, give me all those CP3s. Give me a whole bunch of CP3s in chat. 3. Here we go.
Let's do it.
All right, I can't wait any longer.
Here it comes, the moment of truth.
Let's see it. Orlando.
Number 9.
Ooh, number
9. All right. There's Ross. But number 9.
What is his jersey number? I don't know, actually.
Number 9 is nice.
I think it showed like 21 or 31 or something.
This is a
31. Yep.
31.
This is the game winner too, I think, right?
Hey, not bad. Number 9 though. That's
number 9. Singles.
That'll get extra premium.
Yeah, for sure.
So what we get? We got a
right.
rookie MGLE with Killian. We got a number 9. We got a solid number 50 of the Josh Hart. Overall, pretty decent pack.
Yeah,
Common too.
Definitely pretty good pack. Single digit serial is pretty awesome too.
And we're gonna single-handedly destroy Pete Overzet's account valuation by putting these Van Vliets for $1. I love it. This is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna put. Let's see. I'm gonna put 1 Van Vliet, and then what else do you want?
Yeah, Coop, you definitely gotta make this into a showcase for the people so they can go ahead and like it for sure.
Certified baller showcase. Yeah, I'll off the fire showcase together for sure.
Definitely.
Thank you to everyone in the chat that said congrats and thanks. Really appreciate it. So let's do a couple $1 moments for the chat. So we'll do the number. Let's see what the other one is. We'll do the number 21549 Fred VanVleet, and we'll do the number 31279, Danny Green, 76er for TJ's hometown squad.
So start with VanVleet just so they're all ready. It's going to be VanVleet /35K. So everybody get on that screen, get the refreshes going. Cupe's going to put it up for $1, and it's really just going to be OTM versus the bots.
Hashtag beat the bots. Let's go. We're 3-0 here. We're 3-0 here, ladies and gentlemen. We got to make it 4 in a row and then 5 in a row here.
All right, let me
just
tilt all of you that click it and then get a failed transaction.
So many.
That's my favorite part.
All right, Fred VanVleet, 21. Sorry, let me get the number again. Here we go. 21549. 21549. Placing for sale.
Cupe, share your screen.
Yeah, share that screen.
Yeah. Whoops. Let me try that.
We'll get some refreshes going to you can see. And I think majority of people in the chat know this, but we are on about a 15-second delay. So whatever you see has already happened 15 seconds ago. So be ready, be refreshing, be F5ing. Cupe may have already listed it by the time you're hearing this.
Yeah. All right, here we go. $1.
You got to go again because you're going to have to confirm it after.
Oh, yeah.
Place for sale.
Multiple times, yeah.
Confirm.
Are you sure you want to place this for $1?
Yeah, I liked a lot of people saying the guy that sold the LeBron for 2,800 versus 28,000. They were like,
that's
Top Shot should really make a warning, and someone was like, of course they have a warning.
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch. That's a tough misclick.
Yeah, it's a tough
misclick
for sure.
There we go.
All right, confirming transaction.
The link you guys put in, I don't know if that was TJ or Cupe, was that to the actual moment or like the actual serial or
listing?
No, just the Fred VanVleet, the general VanVleet page.
All right, so we did the VanVleet. It's out there. Someone spam the chat if you purchased it.
It's funny. This is my first time being on the other side of it because usually when we did this before, I was the one listing it.
I haven't even seen it come up. So yeah,
looking
for that serial.
Pretty sure it's gone. I'm pretty sure it's gone, but
I see it.
Yeah, I was definitely gone. I see it, but I see it, but I'm sure it's gone.
Yeah, it's no longer in my in my collection. Is tagged as sold.
We'll refresh this. You got the next one ready?
Yeah. So next one is going to be Danny Green 31279. Already failed in the chat.
Everyone's processing.
I'm still rooting for my man Evan Tan to get a moment to win one of these.
I'm just
whoever got it, let us know in the chat and DM us as well.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that we got to count the score. It's 3-0. We got to make sure this gets to 5-0 and not gotta love Mikey gets it. Do we have gotta love Mikey in the chat? Also, if anybody wants to, let's see. While you guys go, I'm gonna look and check out this guy's account.
Do we have a bot win? Do I want to click place for sale?
No, I think you're fine.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Danny Green 31279. $1 placing for sale.
Yeah, I saw people saying how could that person list LeBron so low, and I commented on Twitter like they do have a warning. My theory is they thought, because I think the low ask at the time was 20,500, and I think they must have thought like, yeah, I know I'm going under. I'm just going
$500. Yeah,
right.
They should say like you are 26.
That should be like red. Like you are not even close right now.
Right. And I mean, I think it was late at night. Like I've definitely had some drinks and been on Top Shot, and I think on a screen you might blur together a little. I do like, so for people who heard our show on Monday night, for So Rare, the European, the football, the soccer game, he actually built a bot that would buy them when people accidentally list it for way too low, and then he would just sell it back to the person who accidentally sold it for the same price he bought it at, as just like a nice gesture.
Wow.
That's very
and
nice.
So, and that's really cool. And then occasionally what happened is people would be like, oh, hey, I appreciate it, but I don't actually want that. And then he uses that as a giveaway for various things on his site. So apparently bots aren't all that bad. I was also watching this one, Cupe, and I was not able to even get to processing. So
it's gone. Anyone in the chat?
This one shows in my
it's got
different than the last one. So
did we have we checked Twitter or I don't think we saw anything in chat. It's fun though, because if Gotta Love Mike is a bot and we don't hear anything, we're just gonna report that sucker. Yeah. And we found a bot and you got for $1. All right, producer Cupe. Let's see as it refreshes. Warhawk 405. Warhawk. Hopefully that is someone in chat. I have not seen that name. It is another person that has joined in February. This person has created a showcase. That's a positive sign that they are not a bot. They do not have anything for sale either, and they have 8 moments. I believe this is a real person.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, I mean, they've got either it is a brand new bot that is really trying to fake it by throwing.
I mean, people are saying that there are other sites out there that show the deals in real time. So if there's people that are like, there could be humans monitoring those sites and clicking
We're
buy
faster
too. But yeah, we should be faster, right?
The data to stream to those, like there's at least for live.
There has to be at least a lag, right? Yeah.
Raven has a delay as well. Like, yeah, there we go. Guy in chat got it. Did I miss this?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I saw in chat saying my brother's uncle got it.
Right.
Someone said my wife's boyfriend. My wife's boyfriend just told me he got it. That's amazing.
Oh, too funny. Okay, well, we will have to review this. We will see whether or not we get some DMs of anyone saying that it was them.
59 seconds. After buying it, he's got it listed for $8.
I do have that. Yeah, I have someone saying Gotta Love Mikey is a bot. And if that is the case, everyone.
Breaking news: Cool Cats tomorrow. Pack drop 92,500 packs.
That makes sense because 20,000, 5 cats, so 100,000. Them
2
leaving
p.m. Eastern time.
Yep. Okay. So if you want those Malik Monks, there's probably a bunch there. We could also probably go see and get a better idea of what those commons will be as well, because we can have a better idea of what's in the packs. This show has gone on a lot, and it seems like the bots may have won tonight. At least not. I'm still thinking that Warhawk is real, but it seems like Gotta Love Mikey is a bot. Everybody go in, report Gotta Love Mikey on the sheet, go in Discord, complain to Jacob and Newsman. We found ourselves a bot, and it costed him $6. Sucker.
Man, what a bummer. All right, well, 3-2. We hold our lead over the bots.
3-1 for now.
3-1 for now.
We'll see. I'm expecting a DM or something.
Confirmed. Not a confirmed bot. All righty. Well, hey, Cool Cats pack drop tomorrow. So I'm sure we'll be looking into that after the show, tweeting out any fun info we find on it. And I think that's it for tonight, gentlemen. Any final words?
No, Taylor, thank you for joining us. Really enjoyed this. Always enjoy, picking someone else's brain and hearing through your process and stuff and kind of your thoughts. Really respect and enjoy the work that you put out there. So really, hey, keep doing what you're doing and helping out the community. I know they really enjoy it. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, awesome. I really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun. And yeah, like Justin mentioned, if you want to get kind of a look behind the scenes at how some folks do top shot analysis, just follow me on Twitter, Taylor_Stein, and I have a newsletter every week. It's called Minted Moment. You can check it out. So plenty of that to go around.
Definitely check that out. A lot of good stuff coming from Taylor. Cupe, thanks for the pack opening, I should say. Congrats on pulling the number 9. I think
Thank
that's
you.
pretty solid single-digit cereal.
Thanks for feeding the
fun
bot.
Yeah,
Do what I can.
Yeah, the bots have been fed.
You're just going fishing. That's all you're doing. You're just trying to find
Yeah.
Exactly.
We found, I was legitimately saying, like, this wouldn't be a bad way to find a bot for, for Dapper Labs to catch bots, but whatever.
Oh, all righty. Well, let's go ahead and close things out. On behalf of Justin, on behalf of our special guest Taylor, and on behalf of the Holo Icon 2 pack opener, Mr. Producer Cupe, I am TJ Lasig, and we will see you guys next time.